What is furry car culture? Furry car culture is furry culture on four wheels. There, I defied the Wadsworth constant. That is a correct definition, but it's not really the definition you want. So, I was one of the guests of honor at Furrydelphia 2024, and I held a panel to discuss what furry car culture is. And we talked with purpose for about 40 minutes. And the conclusion was, at the end of all that, was that furry car culture is furry culture. And everybody clapped because everybody in the room knew what that meant. But that sentence, furry car culture is furry culture, or furry car culture is furry culture on four wheels, requires the reader to first know what on earth we're talking about. They have to understand what it's like to be at a fur con or understand like a intermediate knowledge of internet culture. And some people in traditional car culture don't have that. So a bad thesis is one that requires the reader to already have extensive knowledge of other things. A good thesis allows anybody to understand it. I'm going to expand on that definition for people who are unfamiliar with furry car culture or only know of furry culture at a surface level. And if you're looking to write a thesis paper, if you have this for school, I have a master's degree in English literature. I've been a teacher, so I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to get an A. So in order to come up with a good thesis, you have to really write the paper first, and then you discover what it is you're talking about. So what kind of cars do furries drive? Okay. Well, what is a common theme about all the vehicles that people in the fandom drive? They're all friend-shaped. They're all friend-shaped. They're friendly-looking vehicles, like Miatas and Jimneys, Subarus, etc. Granted, people do drive F-body Camaros and a bunch of other things and big trucks, sure, but on a whole, they're friendly-looking vehicles, non-threatening. If a furry does drive a Jeep, they're not putting angry headlights on it. They prefer cars with big eyes and inviting features. You will also find obscure versions of NPC vehicles or unloved versions of regular cars. Because on some level, people in the fandom, when they were growing up, felt unloved or unaccepted to a greater degree than most adolescents. So the vehicles they choose will also be unloved vehicles. Take, for instance, Veronica's Buick Regal with the functioning cathode ray tube touchscreen. Or a 400cc motorcycle, but it's two-stroke. A forgotten subgenre of motorcycles where burning oil and sounding like a coffee grinder full of lit sparklers was normal. There was a Chrysler, not Plymouth, Chrysler Prowler, complete with a broken spring. That's normal for these. Another fact, most furry cars cost less than the fursuit inside, which means on average, furry cars are bought used for less than $10,000. Those animal costumes cost $10,000? Yeah, Pops. They take about 3 months to make. Average living expenses total about $3,000 a month for the person making it, and that's $9,000 plus the cost of materials. Yeah, $10,000 is the average price for a basic full animal costume. So, furry culture is an expensive hobby, and car culture is a very expensive hobby. Something's got to give, and something has to take the backbone. And because furry car culture is a subculture within a subculture, the car is going to be cheap. And that also means that the majority of car furs are DIY mechanics, out of necessity. Engine out repairs in a garage, that's the norm. As opposed to mainstream car culture where people, myself included, choose to write very nice checks to have major car repairs done. And the repairs themselves that are completed within furry car culture are done savagely, without considerations to traditional beauty. Does it work? Yes. Is it leaking? No. Good enough. I need my car for hanging out with friends, not winning trophies. They don't care about winning some plastic thing at the Eagleville, USA Patriots Day Memorial Car and Hot Rod Show at Fearless Fire Company and Men's Club sponsored by Mason's Funeral Home and Cremation Services. In the place of awards and those stupid trophies that people will give, I'm going to go to a car show and I'm going to bring the trophies that I want at other car shows. Now, in the place of those are furry stickers. Now, furry stickers are an integral part of furry culture in general, often handed out in person and then displayed on one's car, bicycle, luggage, scooter, laptop, etc. The stickers usually are part of the person's character. When you meet somebody at a convention and they like you, they'll typically give you a sticker of their character. And a montage of furry stickers on somebody's piece of property says, "These are people I met." It's kind of like how a local restaurant's bulletin board is full of business cards. Or if you're from a small town, maybe you've heard this verbal exchange. "Hey, where'd you go to school?" "Oh, I went to Blue Mountain." "When'd you graduate?" 2000. "Hey, do you know Shane Gatz? He would have been a sophomore when you were a senior." "I think so. Did he graduate with Jen Martin?" "Yeah." "Cool, I remember her. She was in band." "Did you have one of those?" Those small town do you know conversations serve to create context between two people, or to secure bonds, or to let yourself know that your life continues in other people's lives. So you can look at someone's collection of furry stickers and say, "Oh, you know so-and-so? Yeah, I saw them at such and such party," or "I met them at Furrydelphia, or Anthrocon, or Midwest, or A&E, or Denver, or FWA, etc. For a bystander out of the loop, a car with furry stickers on it doesn't mean anything. It's just a mess of cartoonish characters on the back of a Kia Soul. But seen through the right eyes, it's a record of where someone has been and who they met. A record of friendships, big and small. Notice that there is limited or no political stickers on furry cars. There are few or no stickers vilifying other car brands. If a depreciating statement does appear on a furry car, it will typically be directed inward, such as boasting how much their owner suffers for their wheels. At car shows, fursuit heads will be placed on hoods, or dashes, or seats, similar to rubber ducks in Jeep culture, almost signifying that the fursona matters more than the car does. Now, the majority of cars at this meet were not cars with animal names, which leads me to assume that furry cars are not chosen based on how animal-like they are. Otherwise, we would have just had a parking lot full of Mustangs, Cougars, Impalas, Falcons, Thunderbirds, Fox bodies, Firebirds, etc. Well, there were some F bodies, but I saw more Scions than F bodies. The car itself is not an extension of the owner's personality. Duh, the fursona is. Whether the owner owns a fursuit or not doesn't really matter. The owner's creative, fanciful avatar is an anthropomorphic animal, not a car. Again, placing the fursuit head on top of the car or in the car or something shows this hierarchy. Fursona above car. Makes sense. Ask anybody with a suit, what do you want to do? You either got to sell your car or sell your suit. You have to choose. You got to do one. Well, most cars are mass-produced consumer products, even rare ones. Fursuits are all one-of-ones. These costumes are form-fitted to the owner. Their car is just a WRX. They can go buy another one at a vape shop. However, it's not uncommon for a furry gearhead to have art drawn of their character in their car, be it digital or in a physical form, which is different than mainstream car culture where someone would choose to just buy a Matchbox model of their car and just display it along with their car. You've seen my meme, here's my toy car, here's my real car. Also, that furry car sticker of the character with their car, something else is going on there. The character will have even more exaggerated proportions, like a larger head, or maybe the whole character will be bigger than the car, or as large, drawing attention to the character over the vehicle. Oh, and I'm also missing something here. Typically, the most celebrated suits or celebrated characters in the fandom are ones that appear to be real or try to get as close as you can. This is accomplished through either the quality of the suit's construction or the VR rig's articulation, as well as, but not limited to, the skill of the performer inside the suit or behind the VR rig. Can the spectator imagine this talking animal to be real with a minimum amount of effort? The more convincing the performance, the better it is. I mean, I'm just describing basic acting. Apply this value to the vehicle in the parking lot. How much do I need to stretch my imagination to pretend that the talking polar bear can drive a Ford Pinto? Okay, so we have about 7 themes here that we can work with, that we can agree on. Number 1, these are friend-shaped cars. Number 2, they are, on a whole, obscure variants of unprestigious models. Number 3, they are expensive cars. Number 4, the price of the car typically does not exceed the price of the fursuit, if applicable. Number 5, DIY maintenance. Number 6, stickers of animal people on the vehicles. And number 7, the vehicle is a supporting character in the lore of the owner's original character, or OC. Like the first 5 really all fall under the category of attainable and friendly. And number 6 and 7 relate to character lore. So when we combine all these 7 observations, we come to our thesis. Furry car culture is a celebration of affordable, friendly cars which complement character creation. Okay, that's close, but we can make that more concise. Furry car culture is a celebration of affordable, friendly cars which act as an augment to fursonas. But no, that doesn't work because that contains the word fursona, which is a thesis in itself. And a thesis within a thesis is bad. But we're down to one sentence. The sentence has an adjective phrase, I think it's an adjective phrase, which modifies cars, which I would prefer not to have. Let's try again. Furry car culture is the celebration of friendly-looking, affordable cars which look like the type of vehicle a talking animal would drive. No, that's too long and too restrictive. Furry car cultures have 2 overriding themes, affordability and uniqueness. So furry car culture celebrates affordable, fursona-manifesting vehicles. Well, that is certainly tight, and that is true, and we're close, but the average person would need a 20-minute video explaining what fursona manifesting means. But that's an 8-word sentence with no adjective phrases. So, okay. And by the way, I'm not like intentionally making bad theses here. This is how I was writing. I was writing my thesis over and over and over again and then critiquing it after I wrote it. So a fundamental part of this sentence is the root part of this sentence is furry car culture celebrates vehicles. Well, duh, right? But that is a complete sentence. So what kind of vehicles? Affordable vehicles. But we need to tie OC's original characters in there as neatly as possible. And also what they do. So again, you have to write a thesis for school. This is how you do it. You're watching this in real time. So you write your paper first, and then you discover what your thesis is. It's going to be messy at first, but you just keep writing it over and over, and then it gets clearer and clearer. So furry car culture celebrates affordable, friendly-looking, and we can combine friendly-looking to amicable, really, and that's pretty much the same word. Furry car culture celebrates affordable, amicable vehicles which complement the owner's imaginary No, amicable doesn't work. It's too vague. We have to go back. Here we go. Furry car culture celebrates affordable and friendly-looking vehicles which complement the owner's imaginary anthropomorphic animal personas. Furry car culture celebrates affordable and friendly-looking vehicles which complement the owner's imaginary anthropomorphic animal personas. That's it. None of the words, it's longer than I wanted. But none of the words in that definition require the reader to already know other things. I wish I could make it shorter, but each one of those words are easy. The only complex multisyllabic word in there is anthropomorphic, but the film Zootopia is part of mainstream pop culture now, so we'll allow that one. I think most people know what that word is. There you go. That's what furry car culture is. Furry car culture celebrates affordable and friendly-looking vehicles which complement the owner's imaginary anthropomorphic animal persona. Wait, do I have is agreement right in that? Furry car culture celebrates affordable and friendly-looking vehicles, plural, which complement the owner's apostrophe after the S, imaginary anthropomorphic animal personas. Little stumbly at the end, but we got it. Furry car culture celebrates affordable and friendly-looking vehicles which complement the owner's imaginary anthropomorphic animal personas. Boom. Now go get an A.